Welcome back all my off-road motorcycle YouTubers, and thanks for your continuing support of my classic dirt bike TV channel. Now this time round we're going to take a look at a bike that's neither a classic or a vintage machine, but nevertheless it's a very unique little bike and certainly worth an airing here on my channel. So hope you'll stay with me for the next few minutes as we take a look at a 1971 Honda SL70 Mini Scrambler. Now these very unique little bikes are custom made by a company called Kojomoto, who build these mini scramblers, but they also perform a multitude of other motorcycle services with regards engine work and bike customizations. Now if we start with the chassis, now the frame is based around a 1971 Honda SL70 machine, but as you would expect, the frame has been slightly reworked and eventually nickel plated. Now these little scramblers were another one of the machines I captured at the 2020 Telford Classic Dirt Bike Show. Now these bikes were causing a lot of interest among the visitors at the 2 days of the show, and there was lots of people asking questions about these little machines. Now the little Honda motor you may instantly recognise as a Honda Cub C90 engine, although this little power plant has some very nice improvements to increase the power. Now first of all, it has a Takegawa 105cc big bore kit fitted, and also has a big valve head. Now the oil pump has also been improved, and this little beauty is fitted with a high flow oil pump. Now the clutch also on this bike has been converted to manual operation, which is quite a good upgrade from the original Cub assembly. Now the motor's sparks are supplied by a hyper ignition CDI and coil kit combination unit, and the motor's oil is also cooled by a G-Craft oil cooler and a carbon catch tank. Now of course, one of the more outstanding features of this lovely mini scrambler is this Yamamoto exhaust system, which improves the gas flow and gives the bike a nice little bark when that little motor gets fired up. But this Yamamoto exhaust system is a very good upgrade for this small engine, and you got to admit it looks absolutely the dog's bollocks when you see it fitted to this chassis. Now the front suspension on this unique bike is from a Honda CRF 100, and the forks also have a pair of air bleeders fitted. But this suspension will be good enough to cope with most bumps and jumps if the bike is ever used on an off-road track. Although in terms of the rear suspension, the bike is well equipped with these air-filled Fox shocks. Now these American-made suspension units will be more than adequate for anything that this mini bike should tackle in its life, and these Fox units are very hardy and easily serviced. Now the tank used for this mini scrambler is taken straight from a 1977 XR75 Honda, although mind you, the shape and colour could suggest that it's from an old 74 CR250 Elsinore or a similar machine, but nevertheless it still looks the dogs on this particular bike. Now once again, the footrests on this bike have been upgraded, and these very substantial wide-bodied footrests are a good fitment for such a small machine, but will be most welcomed compared to some of those flimsy narrow affairs that many of the manufacturers fit to their race bikes. Now the motor also has a custom made inlet manifold and was also fitted with a big open core air filter kit, and the fuel for the motor is fed by this very good quality Keihin carburetor. Now the bike's tidy looking seat is also taken from a 1975 XR75 Honda model and is just what the doctor ordered in terms of comfort and aesthetic looks for this little mini Scrambler. Now this very unique little bike was actually advertised for sale at the Telford Classic Dirt Bike Show. Now exactly what the price tag for this little bike was, I'm not entirely sure, but it is a very nice looking and very unique little Scrambler. Now the one or two upgrades I've just mentioned are of course just a few of the very trick parts fitted to this little Honda mini bike, although many of the bike's smaller items, including the fasteners and fixings, are also made of titanium. Now the rear swing arm is not as you would expect from another Honda machine, but is actually a custom made item specifically for this Kojomoto machine. But of course, if you're interested in this bike or any of the services that the Kojomoto boys supply, then just call this number for more details. Or also you can always drop them an email at this address. Now I know this bike is not a classic or even a vintage machine, but it was certainly worth an airing here on my channel, and such was the interest of this little bike and some of the other bikes on the Kojomoto stand over the course of the 2 days at the Telford show. Okay, there you have it, something slightly different from our usual vintage and classic dirt bikes here on my channel. A very nice little Honda SL70 mini Scrambler. Okay, back to chasing more of our popular vintage and classic machines in our next video here on my channel. So until next time, don't forget, be safe out there riding those old vintage off-roaders, and thanks again for joining me, and we'll speak again very soon. This video was brought to you in association with WorldSport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more information.